In person.
It's
Wipe it. Wipe.
Oh, I'll get there.
No.
I'll go get it.
Oh God, it's in like the little cracky crack part. It was right on the line.
It's fine. A little splatter didn't hurt anybody.
Except machines.
It's fine. I've got Apple.
Do you know?
Apple Care or whatever.
Do you know what I'm reading right now?
Does it have to do with machines?
Yeah, the book that the movie The Wild Robot is based on.
Oh yeah.
Matt, that movie's gonna destroy me.
I know nothing about it. I have no concept for, so that's good.
Can I tell you what it's about?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about a robot that kind of a robot designed to help humans that crash lands in the wilderness. So the robot has to completely like rework what it was programmed for in order to like do what its makers intended for it to do, which was like to complete tasks for others. So it's all about the robot learning about wildlife.
I like that.
That's
nice.
Yeah, but
sounds nice.
You know, like cute.
There's gonna be like
animals and scary situations. I'm gonna be very sensitive.
I'm just checking live chats already because I don't want to spoil or anything.
Mike put that super chat in the second, like soon after I set up the live event because I checked back because I always like to look at everything to make sure it's okay, and I was so impressed. Happy Longlegs weekend, everyone! I actually don't know when I'm seeing it yet, but because tickets are on sale, tickets are selling pretty fast at my theater, but that's a good problem to have for a movie of this size, isn't it? It's an excellent problem to have. And
well, also a movie of this size, like I wouldn't put it as like a guaranteed to sell out kind of movie. Or no, I'm saying the opposite. But yeah, for a movie this size, it is good to see it selling out. That is correct.
Wait,
I was going the opposite in my head because I'm fucked up.
I mean, I don't even know if I can look this up anymore.
Well, you just said it was tracking for 18.
Oh no, I wasn't looking at the tracking. I was trying to see.
Oh, this can.
I mean, clearly this is impossible.
Viking blonde. He's got lightning bolts in his sunglasses, like the original Vikings.
If anyone is able to find the theater count for Longlegs, let me know.
The number of theaters. Okay.
Yeah, because that would determine how likely it is to sell out, depending on how wide it's going. But one of the last reports I saw on Twitter while we were sitting here getting ready to go live was it was tracking toward 18 to 20 million, which would be like huge for this movie.
Yeah.
It would be, I think that stat was that would make it Neon's largest opening ever. And I think it would also make it Neon's third highest grossing film ever, even though it would only be in theaters for 3 days, which is incredible.
Forbes is saying the film officially opens Friday, July 12th in 2,500 theaters nationwide.
Depending on where you live, I imagine there's going to be some situations where theaters sell out or there's only like crummy seats left, but
no, I love to see it selling out. Yes, I agree with the size of movie it is. I mean, like, it's obviously a great cast. Like, it has a lot of things going for it. It's Neon, but it still is considered a smaller film, I guess I would say, in the comparison point. So
I'm hopeful it's going to have some legs too, because that's one of the things long legs, baby. That's one of the things I keep thinking about after having seen it twice. Was it is well worth seeing multiple times. When I got out of that theater the first time, my head was spinning in the best way possible. And all I wanted to do was go back and piece everything together. And oh my, I couldn't believe how well everything aligned.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
I just podcasted about Longlegs for 2 hours. So I've been talking about it extensively. And that was one of the things they were talking about. One of the guys saw it multiple times. The other guy saw it this morning, and then there was me who saw it like early back. So like, I am really curious to go back on a second watch for stuff we'll talk about later. Obviously, anyone watching, we will do any spoiler stuff later. Yes. You will see spoiler in the bottom. It'll be easy to tell. So we'll be very nice. We're not gonna ruin this shit for you. We're not gonna be like the internet.
Even though we're on the internet, we're not gonna be like the internet. Yeah, so obviously, if you're here, you probably know the title of the video is Longlegs Spoiler Review. That does not happen until the end of Merri Hour episodes. You will not be spoiled here. We will give you a very clear spoiler warning and send you on your way. And before then, we're going to take as many live chat questions as possible. I'm going to do a little Twisters review because I've seen that and there's no embargo apparently. And we'll talk about some trailers.
I remember, Carly. I remember that avatar specifically. I remember you, Carlito.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I'm glad you can come back and see us. I'm just going to go back to the top.
Yeah, we had some
Andrew
other
abandoned us for the movie. Fuck you.
No, Andrew's allowed to.
Fuck you, Andrew.
I can say this now because the news is out there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Actually,
no, don't yet.
I won't.
Save it.
Okay.
Save it.
I won't say it. Yeah.
I already spoiled my Andrew's
Yeah, you did.
Shoes.
You did.
I didn't spoil it. He's making me shoes. They're gonna be dope.
I can't wait to see those shoes.
I know. I got the first draft of them, and I gave him notes. So I'm awaiting the second draft.
Can I see the first draft after?
Yeah, well, I'll show the first draft after.
Yeah.
I'm just going through really best horror movie. I've got opinions on that, but it's up there.
It's a really good year for horror.
There are 3 Shudder movies that I think are better than it right now, but that's about it.
I still gotta watch some
Exuma, stop motion, and
stop motion. I have seen. Clearly, I still haven't circled back to it. I'm not gonna watch anything until after Comic-Con at this point.
No, that's fair. You don't have
so much Comic-Con watching to do.
I mean, if you're watching those kind of movies at this point, it's for end of year anyway, so you have half a year left. But yeah, literally, stop motion was my favorite of the year. And then Infested came out and took that spot.
Okay.
And then Exuma came out and took that spot. But honestly, Day One and Longlegs are both up there for me. If I had a top 5 right now, I think that's literally it. Exuma, Infested, stop motion, Longlegs, Day One. That's a fight for Day One and Longlegs.
I would definitely have Day One, Maxine, Longlegs. I would not in that order necessarily. I would also add Abigail. Abigail made me very, very happy this year.
Abigail's just on the outside.
Immaculate's pretty high up for me, which you well know. And then if they ever announce a release date for it, it's What's Inside from Sundance would be pretty high up for me.
That's the thing. It's not on my list because I don't know. They haven't announced it yet. But again, I'm confident.
I have to imagine for what they paid for it, they release it in 2024. That would be...
And Heart, it's going to be... It's What's Inside as a Netflix release. It was bought out of Sundance by Netflix. It was shown...
For a wild amount of money.
17 million?
17 million. That's a lot of money for that movie for a streaming service.
It played South by. I was actually surprised they let it play South by still, because that's where I saw it.
I was a little surprised they didn't do more there. I wanted to go back around and do some interviews or something to keep the hype going. And
I'm actually more surprised they let it play versus did more with it. I think they did exactly what they wanted to.
Really?
Show it to one more crowd and just get a little bit of hype, because
I guess
they were policing my review.
But now no one's talking about it anymore.
And they were policing my review of it in the way, this is inside baseball stuff. I don't give a shit though. I had embargo stuff that there's things in the movie I wasn't allowed to talk about.
Yeah, no, I have that. I did an interview and I couldn't talk about those things.
Yeah. So I couldn't even properly sell people the movie that they will see eventually. That's what I keep saying.
The way I keep explaining it is, imagine me trying to sell you Talk to Me, but without being able to tell you it's about a hand that allows its user to become willingly possessed.
Anyway, the movie is called It's What's Inside. We both saw it at festivals, and there is no again, I believe it will come out this year around Halloween, but there's no indication that it is. But there wouldn't be an indication because it's Netflix. They're just going to do the Netflix thing. And hey, here you go.
They're
going to announce it a week. They're going to give it a week.
Give that one a proper release and celebration. Your Monster got dated.
I saw Your Monster.
That makes me really, really happy. It's
October 25th, right?
October 25th. That's what I was going to say.
I was afraid I was wrong. I can't believe I remember that email.
I was wrong.
No, that's fine. I saw the press email. I was like, hell
yeah. Yeah. I like the poster too. Did you see the poster?
It's the werewolf hand and the human hand, in the heart. Yeah. It's good
great
stuff.
I think you're going to like that.
I'm just giving MK Songbird props for the Hundreds of Beavers avatar. Fantastic. Good job. Good job all around. We'll get to this later.
To watch that movie?
We're gonna watch it eventually. I'm sorry. It's comedic genius. You and Amelia,
dude. It was bad timing. Nobody
you and
was
Amelia
in the mood to watch something like that.
You and Amelia were downers. I'm sorry. One of the best movies of the year. We'll get to this later. People were laughing in my theater too. I couldn't understand why.
During Longlegs?
Yeah, I have opinions on that and why that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay too.
Horizon mentaled me.
Russell?
Yeah, do you want to get to these now? Okay. Well. Like I was gonna try to save them for later, but no, that's fine. We'll get these now. Okay. We'll get these now.
Russell, what's up? Wow, this movie. Oh, I see why you were saving it now.
I mean, we can do
I didn't pre-read any of these.
We can do non-spoiler though. Like that's fine. We can respond to these.
Wow, this movie was so atmospheric and unnerving. The tension and camera shots just elevated the scenes. Longlegs gonna be worthy of repeat viewing. You are spot on, Russell.
I think specifically there's these shots where the camera is being a voyeur in the sense that like it's Longlegs' eyes, let's say, and like Micah Monroe's character. There's one specific
short. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So like there's one specific scene where Micah is sitting down writing and like in a cabin, and the way the camera is so far away from her, like it is Longlegs looking at her from afar, or like through a window. I think there's like one or two shots that are so beautiful, like through a window from the outside. So like you are peering in and like looking at her from it's very Peeping Tom vibes, that 1960s movie. Like one of the first to say like first person perspective. It feels like you're in the skin, and it's good. It's good.
Good description.
Okay, here.
What's up, David? What's up, Perry? Did you and Matt see the trailer for Gladiator 2? I was a little underwhelmed by it, but I'm holding out hope. I know Matt, Amelia, and I are excited for the final season of Snowpiercer next week. Can't wait.
I have to catch up a little bit on Snowpiercer. I'm a little behind, but I need to catch up for the final season.
Way too far behind to catch up for the final season. Because
I might be totally caught up, but I might have to watch the last few episodes just to recharge.
I have to pick and choose what I'm catching up on for Comic-Con.
No, that's fair.
I also have to like make sure before I tell you what I'm catching up on that like hold on one quick second. And then I'll tell everybody what I'm binge watching right now.
What are you binge watching?
I'm fairly certain I'm allowed to say this out loud.
Yeah.
That I can, because here is a news piece that says Interview with the Vampire set for SDCC. The Anne Rice shows are my current binge watch.
Oh, nice.
I am currently in the middle of Interview with the Vampire season 2, and then I will move on over to Mayfair Witches.
Oh, I haven't even watched a second of Mayfair.
I don't know if I'm allowed to like say anything about the show, but I'm gonna say that I'm moderating this soon enough anyway, because I believe the news is out there. I'm moderating the panel at Comic-Con for Those About to Die, which is another like Gladiator leaning show, and it was really interesting binging that and then jumping into watching that trailer. I'm definitely very into those scenarios and storylines right now, which is unusual. Yeah, it's
Roman,
a little unusual for me, but I thought the Gladiator 2 trailer looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, from what I saw, what I saw were certain clips, and I love the Denzel thing. Everyone making fun of like he's doing his New York voice and stuff like that. Like, no, fuck off. That is quintessential reteaming with Scott and doing his thing. Like, I love that.
I am a little obsessed with Fred Heckinger and and Joseph Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I can already tell that they are going to fascinate me in that film.
The costumes look fantastic.
My eyes off of them.
It looks good. It looks like a capital fucking M movie.
Hi, bud. Look at that face. I wish you could all see the face.
All right, we can move on to G.A.
Hi, Perri and Matt. I've been watching since the Collider Nightmare days. Usually my theater is quiet on a Thursday, but it was packed for Longlegs.
It's good.
It makes me so happy to hear. So happy to hear.
It's been my dream to restart Nightmares with you in some way. Like, obviously, it will never be the same because of who is on it and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But, like, that was always actually get a budget, actually get a studio somewhere, and, like, me, you, and just rotating guests of all our friends because we know the smartest fucking people.
I like that idea.
Oh yeah, no, like I have no doubt in my mind that if we were given control of something of that nature,
if I ever move and the cost of moving is reasonable enough that I have funds to do this, I would forgo having like a normal normal bedroom or living room or
just
like
to have a studio.
Like a necessity room to build a proper like turnkey kind of studio.
My like pipe dream, if I ever won the lottery, I would just get a plot of fucking land.
Yeah, I like this. I know this pipe dream and I like it.
Yeah, commune. It's just a friend commune. And like I have my spot, you have your spot. Just we can just do spots. Yeah, that's totally fine. And to have like a studio with like 4 separate just
we build a little neighborhood and all of us that want to work together have a little house and right smack in the middle is the studio where we can just like swoop on in and make shows.
We need to convince
how do we win the lottery?
I was gonna say convince a network to do one of those like influencer house shows with us.
Except
like an influencer house show for film nerds. No, we can swing this. We can make this happen.
We would be so boring. Like I think we do really cool shit, but I feel like in comparison to reality TV shows, we'd be so boring. So much of that shit is so manufactured, and like most
of it's manufactured. There's no reality.
Like I'm saying, like none of us would entertain the idea of doing anything like that.
But maybe we can flip the script. Maybe we can make reality feel like reality again.
Maybe we can make reality entertaining.
Make reality entertaining again. I don't want to escape anymore. I want reality to be my escape. I don't want to leave it.
You never know. If we ever find an investor, I'll at least try it.
So this is not a Minnesota. It's not a Minnesota Vikings beer, although it is absolutely purple and like it has everything for it. But I can confirm it is Viking Blonde. It is a brewery company in Long Beach. So like it's out here in California. There's a shimmer, so here, let's see it. But like it's a brewery out here.
Do you think they chose those colors knowing?
Maybe. And maybe they came from Minnesota. Like that is very possible that it is a product.
It just seems like such an unusual color pairing to pick.
No, that's true. But like it's LA branded everywhere. Like LA right there, LA. So like I don't know. It's interesting, but I like that. Let's see. Sold out. Absolutely.
I love hearing that.
We have had a nice rebound. There was concern for obvious reasons, and I think that was valid at the time, but it has evened out. Absolutely.
I'm still kind of surprised that Furiosa underperformed so significantly.
It's just one of those R circle movies. And when I say R, I mean like film in general. Like it is a film nerd, capital F, like critic movie, all that stuff. Like it's got that going for it, but like
I think it's an everybody movie.
But Mad Max itself did not blow the doors off the box office. Like I thought that was the narrative. The narrative literally was like, we all love Mad Max, but it didn't destroy at the box office. I think my brain is in Comic-Con mode, but one of my most vivid memories of Mad Max Fury Road is when everybody was like, holy shit, at the footage that they showed in Hall H. Oh shit. I was talking shit about Andrew and he's here. Fuck.
I mean, yeah, I guess 380 million worldwide.
Yeah, for that movie,
biggest amount.
It's not bad. I'm just saying, like for the phenomenon everyone makes of it, it's more it is, I think, a smaller, more vocal, and way more enthusiastic fan base than it is a wide-reaching one. I think that's what it is. Hell's yes, Twisters. Fuck yeah. Mental me. Thank you. I love the Cavity Colors baseball tees. Yeah. They're so comfortable. Although I forget which one this is, but Amelia got some Psycho Gorgon shirts. And
that's not Cavity Colors.
This isn't Cavity. It's a different one she found.
It's still soft.
Yeah, like I love the design on it. They're like doing the kind of the same thing. And the title on or the little subheader is "It'd be nicer if you were dead." And I'm like, yeah,
I like that one. I could do a little Twisters review because I already saw that pop up.
Let me catch up here.
With supers.
I'm team First Omen.
Oh
absolutely.
I'm team Immaculate.
Immaculate First Omen. We did
that at
fight.
Fantastic Fest.
I would absolutely love to do that.
I would do that.
I'm not boxing you though.
I want to punch you.
I know you do, but I'm not doing it for real. Solid Exhibit, hell yeah, dude. See, Andrew gets it. He earned a little bit back for me. Oh wait, did I miss another one from
we didn't do.
Hey, here we go.
Do this one.
Yep. Sorry.
They go together.
Yeah, that was a two-parter.
Congratulations, Vincent. I want to check that out.
And this is what it is. VincentZavada.net.
Sweet. Congratulations. That's
awesome.
Is
how I started. This is how how most people in the industry that we are in started.
Had one. It didn't last very long, but I had one.
But I mean, like, that's the whole thing. Like, if you actually want to get into this side of the industry, first you have to see if you can even do it. And I don't mean that like in a negative way. Like, you have to start churning out content and like writing things just to see if you have that bug in you. Because a lot of people want to get into this side and then they do the work and all of a sudden it's not where they belong. Like, that is.
And to have samples to give to outlets when you want to find some work. Pearl, Maxine, X. Oh, those are ratings.
Interesting.
5 out of 5
I like
for
that.
Pearl. I can get behind this ranking.
That's actually funny.
I can get behind. That's the coolest thing about this franchise is I can get behind any ranking.
So I think
every ranking makes
I forget
sense.
what I tweeted, and Bibiani responded with that. I think I tweeted like, in my opinion, it's X, Pearl, Maxine. I think it actually has diminishing returns as a franchise. But like Bibiani is like, that's so funny because like he actually said it's the opposite. I think he loves Maxine, likes Pearl, and he thinks X is the worst. Wow. So yeah, I do love how like the influences are very strong, but at the same time, like anyone can fucking have their opinion.
I still can't rank them. Like, it's weird. Like my brain just like shuts down when I try to. Like I can't find any good reasoning to put one over the other.
It's hard because they're so different too. Yeah. And like it's your style of what you like. Like, do you like the Texas Chainsaw kind of slasher?
I like it all.
Do you like the LA-ness? I
like it
but
all.
It is one of those things where I think I said this, but I left the theater and I was X, Maxine, Pearl. But then I sat on it, and I sat on the farther away from Maxine I get, the shallower I find it. And so that's where like it dipped under for me.
Farther away I get, the more I want to rewatch it because there's certain scenes I want to go back to. I did the same thing. Yeah. Before we went to the Maxine premiere. Yep. I had come just from seeing Longlegs. So literally drove from Longlegs to Maxine, and it's one of the best double features I've done in a long time.
That's fun. That's a good double feature. I love that.
Andrew, stop it.
Roughly 37 years ago.
Not that old. Not that old. Yeah, but it is like 10 years old.
The pandemic,
it's not 10 years old.
The pandemic added fucking years onto our lives.
Like, I feel like Nightmare started in what, 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2017.
Bakug for some excitement.
Aw.
I see him tweeting every once in a while. I'm like, hey, hey, buddy.
I love hearing from Kuga.
Again, it's not is it a Vikings? Now I'm questioning it. Like, I didn't think it was a Viking specific beer.
That is such a weird thing to choose those colors and be unaware, or have chosen them without that purpose.
Like, my buddy brought it for wrestling the other day, and he just like, it's obviously left the leftovers. But like, nothing on the website says it's a specific like. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. I think it's evoking the color scheme. It wants it to be recognizable, but all right.
Yep. Hey Perry, are you going to get back with Scott and Jeff and start talking Oscar soon? I really miss your awards talks, and I'm looking forward to the Emmy nominations next week. We're working on it. We will keep you and everybody updated, David. Hopefully we'll get things up and running in the near future. I'm so excited for Emmy nominations, though. I cannot wait for that.
I never keep up.
And I can't wait for award season to kick off for me personally with TIFF, which is right around the corner now, which is crazy to say.
Which means fantastic. That's even closer. Wait, is TIFF first now?
TIFF's first, and then first. Fantastic. Because I think I would be...
Some years it's not. Like some years they've done that. I swear to God, some years.
No way. It's always fantastic after.
I promise you.
I think sometimes the gap between is smaller.
It's just smaller.
Like part of the reason why I committed to going last year as my first year was because scheduling wise, it made more sense than previous years where I was able to go and like work my ass off in Toronto. And then I went to New York and I kind of decompressed for a week and repacked and then went from New York to Austin, which I think is how everything works out this year too.
Okay. I remember this one year there was like, because I would always be fighting with TIFF for coverage, basically like on my old website, it would be like, you go to Fantastic Fest, we have people in TIFF, but like Halloween played both. And there was way more crossover that year for some reason. So I forget why. So like, basically, I got to win things though because I was like, well, you can wait for that little TIFF review, or you can get mine a week earlier. And I was like, fuck, and I was like, yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna
play the game.
I have to look.
Gotta play the game.
Look that up. Red One trailer actually looks fun on Netflix. Either of you gotten opportunities to see Beetlejuice 2 early? Ha! I wish. Alec Baldwin found not guilty. They threw it away. Yeah.
It wasn't even not guilty. It was just thrown out, and it can't be whatever it is. It can't be brought back up, so it's over.
That whole situation.
Thoughts are complicated. I don't know enough at this point because I did not research why it was thrown away or stuff of that nature. It's a film set. It shouldn't have happened. There was a lot there. Like, I don't know. There was some other thing that came out about like another live round was found somewhere, and like it could have been even worse. Which I don't know. Like shit on the internet, you can't believe anything that's said at this point. So like, you have to trust the judicial process, but at the same time, I don't know. But it just fucking sucks. It's just the worst scenario possible to talk about.
Yeah, crazy. Something that plain old shouldn't have happened.
And unfortunately, like, Jesus Christ, just a fucking production person.
Where are we?
I don't know. Like,
you just scrolled all the way back to the top.
Yeah, I was just making because we got to the end. So we're done there.
With your reverse scroll. All right, I'll talk about Twisters then.
Talk about Twisters. How is Glenn? That's all I care about. How is Glenn? No, I care about Glenn. Sorry, I'm kidding.
So happy with Twisters.
Good.
So
I'm gonna take this down real quick. Sorry.
I grew up obsessed with the original Twisters, the 1996 original. It's one of those movies that I've watched and rewatched more than most. It made me want to be a meteorologist. That was my plan for a little while. And then I very quickly realized that I don't have the math and science skill set to actually achieve a degree in that sector or be able to do that job, period. So then that dream was long lost, but I kept watching Twisters, and this new movie does so much of the things that I love in the original Twisters, but modernizes it and adds an extra layer to the story that I thought worked really well. It is a Hollywood blockbuster. Obviously, there are certain science-y and computery things that are said very quickly and
like you're not gonna be able to
not make all that much sense or be super realistic. But the point is, the actors say it with authority. I'm caught up in the heart of their mission and what it's like for them to be a community together. And I was just utterly like sucked into this movie, compelled from start to finish. One of my favorite things about this new Twisters movie, though, actually, this is like a bunch of things wrapped into one. I think the fact that the movie was shot on film is one of the smartest things they could have done. You know how oftentimes we complain about, let's say, a 90s movie, for example, kind of like losing texture and realism when they remake it or make a sequel 20 years later? I feel like more often than not, it's because it's shot digitally and it loses that like reach out and touch it feel. It loses that quality that makes the visuals more visceral. This movie has it. And then on top of that, the effects work, the visual effects and the special effects are exceptionally well done. You know how we always complain about things like green screen backdrops and all that?
Often.
I think the Twisters and all the settings and all the actual practical locations, I thought everything looked great. Glenn is
I mean, the whole cast
incredibly charming, like the ideal lead in one of these movies. I can't say enough good things about him. People know this at this point. Like I do think that, what are they calling it? The Summer of Glenn? Is that the Super Yaki shirt that they just released?
Oh, yeah.
It might be, but like, dude deserves it. He's a natural. He's a headliner. I can't take my eyes off of him. And like, he's good at what he does. It's just, I'm always especially impressed when an actor has two movies coming out so close to one another, plays completely different characters, and makes me fully believe that he is both of them. And that's what he does here. He also has so much chemistry with everybody around him in this movie, which is, well, it really is vital to this particular story, because this isn't a spoiler. It's highlighted in the trailer. There's basically like two warring storm chasing teams with completely different vibes. And
the Cowboys and the fucking Smarty Smarts. He
and Daisy Edgar Jones, who are essentially the leads along with Anthony Ramos, but the two of them in particular, need to have the right kind of chemistry with more of the characters on both sides in order for things to work. And they do. She's exceptional as well. And I feel like a lot of the times, like someone who's playing like the straight man role, so to speak, gets like the thankless job of moving the story.
You just have to be there.
That's what her character is doing. She's, you know, she's dealing with some past trauma that she has to get through. And as she's getting through that sadness, she's driving the story forward. And sometimes it's the flashier characters that are a little more fun to watch. But I thought she worked with that material so incredibly well. Made me care about her character, made me really believe that she was smart enough to be doing all these things. I was very impressed. And then, now I'm just rambling, but the other thing, I wrote this in my tweet, the other thing that I love about the original is that it's a large storm chasing team, you know? And it's a
big cast. Yeah.
It's a big cast. And
but like, so is the original.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah,
so like with the original, it's a big cast, but no matter how much screen time someone gets, you remember them. Like I know every single member of that storm chasing team.
Todd Phillips and Philip
Seymour Hoffman, fucking Dusty, coolest guy ever.
Yeah.
This one has that same effect. Like Sasha Lane really impressed me here.
That's
like,
cool.
She pops. I think they really all do, but I guess the point being, each and every one of those members of both storm chasing teams, I do think maybe doesn't get enough screen time. Like I would have liked to have spend more time with them, but they make the absolute most of the screen time they get. And ultimately, I think that's what matters most.
And it's the ensemble problem forever at the same time. Like if you can solve the problem, like, yeah, like you'll always want more time with someone, but if they're still delivering, that's fine.
But the thing is, you can't. As long as you, I feel like as long as you get enough, it's okay to want more. The problem is when you leave a movie, when you leave an ensemble film like that, and it was like, who is that person? What was their name?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them. Why would I want more of them? I learned something about each and every one of those characters that I wanted more of.
Love it. I have not seen it yet, so my screening's next month. I know it's Monday. It is Monday, so
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk.
We'll talk about it next week. Yeah, I'll be stoked. So I really have to rewatch the first one because it's
so good too.
It is very much a TBS special kind of movie for me. Movies were not big in my household. I had no one showing me things.
Not that it's a bad thing. Like many wonderful movies are screened as TBS specials, but I need
to sit down and actually watch.
It's like a cinematic event in my
100%. The first like real capital movie for me was Independence Day, and I only saw that because my friend's mom.
That a couple times.
My friend's mom took me.
I think my mom was the mom that took my friends.
No, my mom wouldn't do it, and my mom was out, and my dad was home doing yard work, and like my neighbor Mark, who was like my best friend for a while, was like, "Yo, my mom will take us to Independence Day," and I go to my dad, and I'm like, "Can I go see Independence Day?" He looks at me, he's like, "Don't tell your fucking mom." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So like I just left.
Good job.
Yeah. I just outed him on the stream because my mom watches it. So.
Oh no! Well,
she knows. Oh my god, no, she knows that story a billion times over.
I was talking recently to somebody about my first in-theater experience, and I feel like I didn't go back far enough. One of the first ones that I remember most vividly is Batman Returns, because I remember when Penguin bites the head off the fish. That really scared me as a kid. So I was like teeny tiny when that was in theaters.
I think Independence Day was the first impressionable one because that was like, I'm allowed to go see this movie that I'm too young for, but an adult is with me. Like that was the D thing. Like all the other stuff I've talked about this multiple times. Like my household was very, you have to be of the age to see the movie.
We grew up in the opposite types of households in that respect.
My parents didn't care about movies in that way. That was the thing.
I had no rules. Yeah. I had no rules. I watched whatever I wanted whenever I wanted.
I get that.
Oh my God, so many.
Yeah, we have a few.
I have an answer for this first one.
So I was looking. I know my answer. I was like, I have to fucking say it then. What do you?
Life of Chuck.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Have you read that short story?
God, no.
That is don't say that.
No, I'm just.
You should read it.
I'm just saying, is it like, you know me? Of course, I haven't read that yet.
It's just you could listen to it. I'll play it for you on my phone. It's really short. Not that'll.
All right, we're gonna pause. So pause the stream.
So next week's episode, I will literally just be playing Life of Chuck from my phone.
It's a live reaction to Life of Chuck.
So like, I feel like many folks who maybe don't read all of Stephen King hear Stephen King and think like, oh, it's horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
there's definitely genre elements in this, but it is like it's such a beautiful and poignant human story, and who better to adapt a beautiful and poignant human story with genre elements than Mike Flanagan, and that cast is friggin' epic. I have such high hopes for that film. I can't wait to see it. That and Wild Robot.
Well, I'm throwing Night Bitch on there.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited. I will not be at TIFF, but I'm very excited for Night Bitch. There's a good amount of stuff premiering here that I'm excited for. Do we know the midnight lineup though?
Yeah, I think they did.
Okay,
they've released a bunch of titles.
TIFF.
Life of Chuck clouded my brain though.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was on my list. Toronto Midnight Madness. This is last year. Aggro Drift is unwatchable. Yeah. I do love seeing they
might not have released the full Midnight Madness lineup, but they released a bunch of titles and some things fall in.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm excited.
Oklahoma Love for Twisters.
Yeah.
We will read this, and
I'm glad the case against Alec was thrown out. It was a terrible accident and it wasn't his fault. He deserves to move on with his life.
I agree with the sentiment. It was a terrible accident and people do agree they should move on. I also don't know who is in charge. He's also a producer. There were folds to this of people being in charge of safety and who is policing the right things and who is putting people in a safe environment. So this is a deeper conversation. I have half of the information for that I cannot say, but There's complicated.
Nothing more important than safety on a film set.
Yeah, safety on a film set. Literally and again, if it is your film set, whether you are on camera or not, there are repercussions.
First time caller, long time listener. Thoughts on Horizon being pulled?
That's an interesting one. Yeah.
I mean,
did it do well? I did not. Yeah, exactly. So it didn't do well.
The writing was on the wall when when the release was happening.
Right. Okay.
It's like the
but
reverse.
It's done. So what's the point of taking it off?
It's like the reverse of Strangers, where we were all we were all like, "Fuck, that movie's gonna bomb," and then it made money.
Yeah, it made money on a fucking $2 million budget or whatever. Horizon was made for all of Kevin Costner's bank account, right?
Oof. It's only made 27 million worldwide thus far.
Fuck.
Horizon.
Imagine.
Movie.
No, not even going to. No.
Budget.
You made the movie you wanted to. God bless. You did.
$100 million, but I don't know if this is for both of them.
Well, they did shoot at the same time, so.
Kevin Costner. This is a headline from Variety. Kevin Costner confirms he spent $38 million of his own money on Horizon, not the $20 million being reported.
Imagine being like, no, I didn't spend 20. I spent 38 just to be like, I lost more money than you thought.
I mean, who knows? Wait, I don't know if this piece came out before it. This piece came out in May. So.
Oh, okay. He was confident. Holy shit, he was confident.
Well, they had a multiple film release plan. There were other parties that were confident, but
for a film that no one said they really wanted.
I don't know. I'm fine with films coming out that I never said I wanted, but I just need them to be saying, of a quality that
a $38 million gamble for a single person is a lot on something that you don't know has a guarantee. Oh boy.
Yeah.
God bless you for making your movie and putting your kids in it and doing all your thing.
We could have built our whole little,
the things I could have done with $38 million. Just baffling. The things I could do with $1 million.
I know. That's
Imagine if I just had $1 million.
I just want, just give me one of those millions.
Yeah, I'll never see that shit though. I'll fucking die working at 85 or whatever.
No, I want to work until the day I die, Matt. I'm not kidding.
Good for you. I want to fucking retire and have a life.
Vincent said, "Love Maxine. Agree. Dad plot could have been better." Yeah,
agreed. We talked about that a little bit last time. If you want to hear us talk about it, that's
go back. That way we don't have to spoil it for people. Right?
Yeah, we're not. We can't spoil right now. So that's last episode. Hell yeah.
Sorry, I'm late. Longlegs is indeed a 4 out of 5, Matt.
Yep, that was my review.
Is that what you gave it?
Yeah, that's what I gave it. Solid 4 out of 5.
I might be like 4 or 5 out of 5.
I
can't quite figure out what I would shave off.
I get it.
Many points.
Fucking do this before we get into it.
Fantasy football. Yeah. Here is your warning. This is crunch time for signing up for Patreon Fantasy Football. This guy's playing. I'm playing. Is Amelia playing?
Probably,
should we put her on the spot live on the stream? We're all playing, and a bunch of our Patreon OGs are playing. If you want to join the league, go and sign up now. And however many people have, that's how big the league will be.
I need redemption for last year. I had such a hot team, and then it just pooped out. Did I win this league? I won a league.
Yeah, I won our league.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, I don't need redemption. You need to beat me.
I was in big trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I lost Chubb in our league, and I just collapsed after
Chubb
that.
Is also.
It was our other league that I had a nice comeback.
I've got Chubb in my dynasty league, and he is not 100%.
What are we doing for that other league? Are we going to turn it into a dynasty league?
We could talk about that.
Okay. I was talking a little bit with Justin on Patreon Slack, and he was trying to get me to join one of his dynasty things that he just signed up for. And I missed it, and the one he was in got closed out, and it was making me think, but if we're going to change that to a dynasty league,
in my dynasty league, I traded my set. I had the second overall pick in the draft coming up, and I had some iffy keepers, and basically I traded my second overall, and I forget who else, but I got Sam Laporta and I got Nico Collins.
Ooh.
So now my keepers are Alan, Chubb, Nico, and Sam Laporta, and I'm pretty excited.
That's a pretty good
solid
list there.
I had Kittle though. That was the thing. Now Kittle's going to go back on the field. Someone else can pick him up. That was my thing. I'm I have Kittle, so I have a great tight end. Wide receivers though, I got screwed over on. I just never had a good wide out, and they kept getting injured. Christian Watson. Green Bay. I drafted him as my rookie 2 years ago, thinking he's the next hot thing. Last year he does nothing. Absolutely just. I have Jaden Reed though.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Dynasty makes it fun because you do have to think about
later.
I made the trade because I'm
do
now
that
I have
so badly.
Nico and Laporta for however many years.
What is it like the first year? Is it weird the first year of drafting for a dynasty?
No, because it's just
it's still the same.
It's the same draft, but you have to think. This might be my team for 5 years.
Yeah, I need players to be able to play well now, but I need to be able to.
It's the thing of you look at a quarterback and you go, how many years do you actually have left? I would take Josh Allen first round in a 1 year league.
Yeah.
Now you have to think about,
oh God,
would I take him for the next 10 years?
I would need a whole other column for ages.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oy.
All these. Okay. Matt knocked That's right. I did. I absolutely knocked you out.
How are you doing, Donovan?
What's up, man? Apologies. I'm going to do it again this year.
No, I'm gonna make an epic comeback. I need a big comeback.
Repeat 2 for 2.
No, it's not gonna happen.
All right, let's spoil some shit.
All right. Oh wait, I didn't make a thingy. I didn't make a thingy. Well, do we want to do non-spoilers before?
Oh, we can do a non-spoiler.
Yeah. While I make this, tell everybody what you think of Longlegs.
All right, here's my non-spoiler review of Longlegs. As Toon Talk's already spoiled, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I did like it a good deal. And the thing I keep stressing that I want people to know, and this is not a fucking egotistical thing or anything, but I have struggled to connect with Oz Perkins as a filmmaker to this point. I do not like any of his movies yet. So if you are like me and have had a hard time with The Blackcoat's Daughter, or I Am the Pretty Thing in the House, or Gretel and Hansel, I appreciate that Perkins is a filmmaker with a singular vision, and that is his. All his movies are Oz Perkins movies. They just have not worked for me. They're all style over substance. They're all lingering and broody, but not with much to back. Longlegs completely changes that. I fucking love this movie. It's evil. It's mean. We can talk about how people are classifying it later. I think people are having stupid conversations about if it's scary or not and what it classifies as. It's very dumb, but I would say it's dreadful. It is a very dreadful movie, and it's one of those things you watch like Zodiac or Seven. That is the ilk, that is the tone. But it has some really cool horror flourishes that we'll spoil later if you want to hear them.
Yeah.
But in my non-spoilery, I liked it a real good deal. Yeah. It's good.
Liked it a lot.
Above it's mean, sharp. It pierces. It's good.
Above and beyond my favorite of his films. I was
not even close.
Totally enthralled by that mystery. The second it started, I was drawn in. I was curious. I liked the sinister feel of the mystery. Yep. I found all of that really unsettling. What the serial killer was up to. Yeah. And therefore, I got really invested with in Micah Monroe's character's drive to stop it.
Yep.
And without spoiling anything yet, where all of that ends up at the end of the film is one, nothing I could have predicted, nothing I saw coming. And it is so incredibly unique. And it's truly like nothing I've ever seen before in a horror movie.
It's good.
And I think it like rattled my brain so much that I walked out of the theater very satisfied, I'll tell you, but so incredibly eager to go like do another go around with the mystery and kind of like put the puzzle pieces together even more myself. And also I just wanted a little confirmation that everything aligned as well as I thought it did on the first go around. Not only did I get that, but I think I got even more than that because I picked up on things I definitely missed the first time. And I'm like, shit, all of this is so smart how it works. I loved it. Loved it.
It's very good.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You want to click the button?
Yep. Let's do it. Let's do it. Time for spoilers. Longlegs spoilers. If you have not seen the movie yet, this is when we say good night and when we promote things that we've been working on. What have you been working on?
Life. Just trying to be better as a no, at Donato Bomb, Twitter, Letterboxd,
Wasn't ready for
Instagram.
that.
I am trying to do better at life, but also I am what do I got coming up? I've got my podcast Certified Forgotten, where we talk about movies weekly, horror centric. Half of it is movies with 10 or less Rotten Tomatoes reviews. The other half is just us talking about like new stuff now. We've started doing these little bite size. So we have content every week now. We're talking about shit. It's great. But yeah, my writings, we got Fantasia Fest on the horizon. So I'll have some stuff for some outlets there. Just the day-to-day. Also Blu-ray shit. Everything's going well. Can't complain.
I like it. For anyone who is not ready for Longlegs spoilers, I will tell you to go on over and watch the Micah Monroe Ladies Night, which just published a couple of hours ago. You are safe with that conversation. That Longlegs interview is completely spoiler-free. I did a separate interview with Micah and Oz, though, that is loaded with spoilers. So
don't do that.
Go watch the Collider. We haven't posted that yet. We're saving it for a little longer, but go watch Micah Monroe and Collider Ladies Night. She is consistently one of my favorite people to interview, and no surprise, she was wonderful during that conversation. Now, Longlegs spoilers. What the fuck?
Fuck you, man.
Who comes up with that shit? Who comes up with that?
$6.
Who comes up with that?
It does. I mean, let's put it this way. It is a horror procedural in ways that definitely exist.
It's Satanic Silence of the Lambs.
Right. So I attributed some of the stuff to Devil's Candy. I had a lot of parallels of the way that Oz Perkins took a family story, to say in certain ways.
It is a family story.
It is a family story. The satanic elements are so interwoven. They are subtle, but then they overtake at the end in such an aggressive way. So like I see a lot of Sean Byrne in this and less Perkins, which is I don't want to say good as a slight to Oz, because I really do think that like Oz Perkins has found a voice that works so much better for me, and that is selfish of me to say, but his movies linger in a way that I both appreciate and hate to this point. Longlegs has broken that kind of tempo, I guess to say, where it'll linger. It makes you kind of go slow burn. It makes you really kind of like boil, or I should say simmer with what's happening. And then it hits you with like a real violent image, or it hits you with something real horror forward. He has found the way to keep excitement going while still doing his brand of storytelling. And I think that's fucking awesome.
As you were explaining that, my mind was flooded with violent imagery.
Exactly.
It's just like it was making me smile a little. I don't know what that says about me, but I loved it. One thing that I asked him during our spoiler conversation, why Longlegs? Why did you even call him? And he was kind of just like creepy, like just because kind of thing. I'm like, good for you. And everything Nick Cage did was so right, but I can't really tell you why it was like they literally could have gone in a million different creative directions with what Longlegs looked like, how he acted, all of that. Yeah. Where they landed is so incredibly eerie and unsettling. one of the scenes that I keep thinking about is when he goes into the hardware store.
Yeah, yes, 100%.
I can't get that one out of my mind, because that I think is the closest to like Longlegs in the real world, so to speak. Not that everything else is very, very grounded, but it's different when FBI agents are doing their case to track down Longlegs, seeing Longlegs interact with an innocent that he's clearly interacted with multiple times before. It just like it fucks with your head to have that realization that he's just out there in this reality.
It's the uncanny that you talked about. And I think that's the usage of Cage here is perfect, because you get, I think I often talk about the memification of Cage. And where are you going to?
Brilliant.
Oh, that would be great.
That would have been such a smart, like those American Girl dolls, like or whatever
well,
the
doll.
Whatever the doll. Like. There were like dolls where like you can make and they would look
the custom
like
ones.
You, right? Yeah. They should have done that.
Like there is the memification of Cage. There is the Cage that people think they want, which is like Willy's Wonderland or Wally's Wonderland, where the fuck that movie was.
Will we ever remember the title?
No, and I don't care because it's not good. And then there's Pig, which is the Cage we deserve. Like when you let Cage act and do things that aren't just screaming the whole time, that aren't being over the top in certain ways, like he developed this character in such an unsettling way. Like I was reading an interview today, and some of it's based on his mother and the way that she turned and looked at him with like a makeup cream on one time, and it was so disturbing. Ooh. So like that's where you get the matted kind of face paint or whatever you want to call it. But also I love where he drew from like 70s 80s like arena rock bands. Like music is integral to this stuff. Yeah, and like he is playing a fucked up front man in a way.
That's it was a great choice.
Right. It's such a good choice. Like the way I described him in my review is like he looks like the bloated corpse of David Lee Roth. If it was like found on, like literally you just found his dead body, because he's all puffy faced. He's all like that is where he's drawing from. But those moments where he's like belting lines in the car or like doing the musical stuff, like there's the Tiny Tim aspect of the soft voice.
Made me so uncomfortable in the best possible way.
Because it takes things that we know, it takes the normal. Go back to the hardware scene.
Yeah,
that should be a normal interaction with anybody, and he finds the creepiest way to say the most benign shit.
Like even like his body movement is blocking.
Yeah,
I was gonna click on this.
Oh yeah, sorry.
The plot was definitely unpredictable, but there were some aspects, I guess, like when Lee went to her mom's house and one door was mysteriously locked. I knew what was going to be behind it. I didn't. So what I thought was, I did think that maybe when that door was locked, there was something connected to Longlegs behind it. I didn't think it was his basement though. I
love that reveal.
One of my favorite shots in the movie is after Lee passes out and wakes up in Longlegs' room, and you have that kind of like reverse flippy-do shot.
Oh,
I thought it was beautiful. Yeah, I thought that was beautiful.
Going back to the cinematography, I think that is such a well shot movie.
Very.
It's not even that one scene I'm talking about where you get the beautiful cinematography of feeling like you're watching Lee Harker and feeling like you're creeping in there. There are so many like just sprawling shots of.
I liked the symmetry.
Well, the symmetry, but also there's sprawling aspects of it. But the close-ups are really unsettling too. Like they do a really good job of showing you just enough of Cage's face to make you really fucking terrified, but not the whole thing. So your imagination goes wild. And I think that distorts stuff. Also using the different aspect ratios to denote like flashbacks and things like that. I think that's just a clever little way to do it.
This is a good call. One of the things that I asked Micah about in that interview, because I think one of the most striking performance beats is, and I know some people roll their eyes at thinking about this, but there's one moment where Lee smiles in the movie, and it is like, it is such a choice. She's talking to her mom about her work on the phone, and her mom asks her like, how are things going? She's like, is it nasty stuff? And when she hears that, Lee smiles. Of all points to smile, and then of course, like you watch that and you're like, that's a choice, that's interesting. And then you watch it back again, and there's certain things that make you like that, make that moment so much more loaded and heavier even than it was before.
I just love the intercut things too, just like the snakes over the the red lighting on the snakes, the red lighting in the basement. Of course, you like the red lighting, 100%. But it keeps that satanic vibe going, and I think that's what some Os Perkins movies lose. I think his films prior have meandered in a way to just get you from here to there. I think Pretty Thing, I Am the Pretty Thing in the House, is one of the biggest offenders where the camera just feels like it's following someone and there's nothing happening. And like having those little additives like the red lighting or the stuff to denote satanic shit happening. I think it's a clever way to keep our minds in the right mode. Like the tone is still obvious. We know evil shit's happening. But then to go back to what I was saying about the violence, holy shit, whether that's I love how you get the procedural aspect and you stay in that world and you get the investigative stuff and like it's ho-hum, it's what it is, it's all predictable. And then you get the maggot corpse or then you get the dead partner or like it is so abrupt and disorienting. It keeps you on your toes. Well, like it's good.
This scene, the Alicia Witt scene where she comes out of the house and she shoots the other agent.
My God.
Oh boy, what a great sequence. She is something else in this role.
She's so good.
Like that, I feel like that's the kind of performance that makes me think like an actor's soul just left their body and they were completely replaced by the individual they're playing.
Like that was a hard one because prior to release, you couldn't really say why her performance was good. And I hated that because like saying why her performance was good was going to spoil the movie. But like now that it's out and we can have these spoiler conversations, holy shit. She like people are talking about Micah and Nicolas Cage, obviously. Blair Underwood, fantastic.
Yeah, he was really good. That's it. That's another role. That is not easy to I feel like it's not easy to make people care about a character, a supporting character that. When you are so attached to your anchor, Lee, you are so fascinated by like whatever Nick Cage is doing. And then again, there's straight man Blair Underwood being like the good guy cop, but
well, he's the straight man and he's also the stereotype. Like he is the stereotypical the procedural cop that we've seen a billion times.
He is, but he's not. Like there's like there's certain moments where like he embraces it, but then you can kind of see like the cracks in that composure. Yeah. One of the things that I really loved about him as a person and how he interacted with Lee was really fascinated by the fact that he is drawn to her and he brings her onto the case because she clearly is able to see things others can't.
The psychic abilities or something.
But later on in the movie, he like puts a stop to it. Like he's had enough. Like I'm not going to believe this shit anymore. I feel like that's a really interesting headspace to get to explore. And I think he did that really well.
Yeah. The psychic elements are the only thing that are a little wavery. I like how Perkins doesn't want to tell you why or anything. I get it. I understand it. That's the only moment like towards the end where it's kind of you have to accept it. And like that's cool. Like that's fine.
I'm a stickler for rules. I don't give a shit. Like I can't for the life of me wrap my head around like the science or the specifics of what's going on and the reasoning behind it. Like given what she's been through in her life and whatever that like smoky black ball does to someone, I'm fully willing to believe that it gives someone some sort of foresight.
Yeah. No, again, like I could suspend the belief because everything else is happening. This is one of those movies that just plops you in. Like you're in the investigation. There's no lead up to it. This isn't training day or shit. Like
I wish I had rewatched that spoiler interview before I came over here.
Want to know all this stuff.
Well, because I asked him one of the questions that I asked him, I think it was the last question I asked. I said, like, what do you think is next for Lee? He had like a really disturbing answer. Like I asked if it was a situation where like, does the evil just continue to follow her? Is it like, latched on and that's it? Or is she in a position where now she needs to jump into that cycle and keep it going to protect Blair Underwood's daughter? And he told me that like, no, like, her story is closed as far as this evil goes. And he had the most disturbing reasoning. He said, I'm going to paraphrase this really terribly. So do go listen to it in his own words. When I publish it on Collider, I will share it everywhere. But he said something to the effect of the devil has kind of pushed her as far as she could go. Like the devil made her do the worst thing in the world, kill her mother.
Yeah, literally got what I wanted.
There we go, like over and done with. How fucked up is that?
Very fucked up. And like again, that thank you. Okay. Sorry.
I never know.
I sneeze weird. No, like that is the whole thing of I think that's where I don't know, people are having the dumb conversation online of like, this isn't a scary movie. It's not a horror movie. It's this and that. But like, I don't know. It's pretty fucking scary because the reality mixed with the unreality, I think, is what makes it actually kind of horrifying. Like we get the true crime aspects of it. We get the stuff we've seen a billion times of like America's Most Wanted.
I made eye contact.
Oh yeah. But then you also get the Satanism of it all and like the devil being alive. And I love how the religious like commentary parallels where like the religious people who are talking about praying the whole time are the easily susceptible ones to get taken over by the devil. And that is, I love that kind of commentary. I love that shit. So you throw that in there and the complications just start swirling in. And then you get the idea that like Nick Cage is giving it his all, his 100%, but we don't need him for the third act. Yeah. And the third act hits so hard.
That was very impressive. We literally, like, the title character was gone. Yeah. He was gone. And it's still
Which is amazing because that Alicia Witt just
I think Andrew's pretty spot on with this.
Was just the devil giving her. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that 100%. Yeah.
And then I wanted to hit Kiernan Shipka too. Of course, Kiernan Shipka was in Blackcoat's Daughter. I thought her scene, her monologue was pretty damn exceptional.
That's good.
I also love the 1-2 punch I'm having right now with Kiernan Shipka being in this and also in Twisters.
Oh, that's cool as hell. Okay, that's cool.
I think she's good in both things.
It's
very good in both things.
It's just very nice to have a film that hits on so many levels. Whether you're talking about the performances, whether you're talking about the visuals, whether you're talking about and go down the list. I think Longlegs is so very good at what it's doing. And again, what it's doing is very Zodiac, very Seven. Yeah. Like it's not trying to be a straightforward horror film, and that's why it's good. And I think that's what we should be focusing on instead of like, this didn't scare me, so it's not
creep me out pretty good.
Get out of here. Fucking doll maker shit's horrifying. Those dolls are creepy as hell.
Dolls are creepy.
Like those scenes were 100% unsettling as Nick Cage's Longlegs is making those dolls. Like that's fucking nightmare shit.
Even when there's like obviously human being violence in this movie, but even doll violence creeped me out. Like the way that like the head and the black smoky stuff. Yeah. Like even seeing the scene where they're dissecting that one doll they find in the barn. Like looking at that made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
In a good way. We like that here.
It's very good. And like I said this on the podcast I was doing before, and I think we have to have like a quick conversation about people BSing the whole like it was overhyped and shit like that.
Stop that. I saw a lot of that. I have no patience for that.
No, 100%. I want to say specifically to like the whole overhyping things. The way the industry works is they are going to invite people who they think will probably like the movie. And guess what? They're usually right a lot of the time. So like that is always the first wave. Like they're going to invite people who they want to talk about it positively, like because they genuinely want to.
I think part of the problem with overhyping though is that like both versions of hype exist.
Yeah.
I do think that in some situations there is hyperbolic hype where there are like familiar offenders who use certain verbiage to get a rise out of people. But then there's also, people who see a movie early and are genuinely enthusiastic and just know how to craft a positive reaction to something. But the fact that both do exist, I think makes those first reactions, hard to parse through. And I can understand that, but
like, here's how you solve it. And this is what I keep stressing. Like, we have forgotten the purpose of Rotten Tomatoes because they themselves have forgotten their own purpose. And like, we have to do the work ourselves now as readers and as watchers, whatever you want to say.
Well, we always had to do the work.
We always had to do the work, but Rotten Tomatoes has made that even harder. So the thing I keep preaching is like, the whole point of this is you have to find critics who work for you. You have to find people you want to listen to, people you vibe with. Like you get on the same wavelength of a critic who will say things and you go, yes, I agree with you most of the time. This is how this works. So like, if that's me, if that's Perri, if that's whoever, like find the people you want to listen to and listen to them. Don't take the general consensus. Like find the people who work for you and that you vibe with. Like that's That's how this goes away.
I'm going to add another wrinkle to this because I snapped at somebody, not snapped, but like I like called someone out on Twitter.
Yeah.
But like another thing that I feel like we run into all the time, which is not good, is like, yes, find a person that you share a similar wavelength with, so that you know they're more often than not guiding you in the right direction. One of like my biggest commenter pet peeves though is when people tell me, oh, well, you like that, so of course you like this. It's like, oh, you like that, so I'm never going to trust your opinion again.
Have fun. That's
fine. You don't have to agree on everything.
You should.
You just don't. Shouldn't. Because like that's boring.
How fucking boring would it be if we all loved the same shit? That's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing in the world. I want to have conversations with people about why they like something and why I don't. That's fun. Like, but the conversations. I don't want to fight with people about it. I want to be like, let's talk about it.
Like finding your critics, I feel like is like there's like a healthy balance between being on the same wavelength, having similar taste, trusting their voice, but also
you shouldn't agree all the time.
I mean, that too, but also them expressing their opinion in a way where it validates their thoughts without invalidating your own. If you wind up feeling differently about something and being okay with that.
Absolutely. It's a respectful back and forth. Like 100%. Like I just always get frustrated with those conversations because it's like, oh, you saw something early, so you're a shill. It's like, that's not how this works at all. I know you're not in the industry, but like, that's not how this goes. It's not as insidious as you think it is. I mean, some sides are, I should admit. Like
we didn't talk about this.
You're allowed to catch.
I think it's a defense mechanism. I think a lot of times when people laugh at stuff like this, it's because something on screen is making them so uncomfortable that that's what they turn to.
Yeah, but counterpoint, I didn't laugh at Cage that much in this. I laughed at the intentional comedy, which I would say, which like Micah Monroe's Lee Harker talking to Agent Carter's daughter. And when she
that was a very funny that was an intentional.
I think we're okay to laugh at Longlegs and those moments.
I love
that was such a good scene.
I loved that scene.
When you come to my birthday party, just the social anxiety of like, I don't want to go to a child's birthday party.
What a great funny scene to further establish who Lee is, but also what a great scene that winds up having a ripple effect throughout the movie and giving Lee believable motivation at the end of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Incredibly well done. There's something else I wanted to hit here.
I feel fucking old.
What?
Oh no, do this first.
What were you going to do? If Carter didn't kill himself and the daughter, the ritual was never completed, right? Well, the ritual is never completed because Ruby? Was that her name, the daughter? Uh-huh. That was another thing. I feel like I'm gonna ruin this, but that was another thing I did ask Oz because her doll's black ball was never blown up. Does that mean like everything is still staying with them? And he goes, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
Like, that's for you, man.
Literally, I wrote my movie. You can do whatever you want with it now. I'm out.
Good for you.
No, that's amazing.
Good for you.
That's the best filmmaker reaction possible. I don't fucking care.
That I got the feeling that he closed the book on this story for the surviving characters.
No, but I adore the fact that Oz Perkins was like, I made my movie and I don't give a fuck what you think about it. That
answer tickled me and I loved it. We missed someone's super chat.
We'll get there.
David's super chat. No, we'll go back to it. Oh, I think I know what it is, David. Been watching you guys since I was 12.
Don't feel fucking old?
Stop that, Wiley.
Don't you feel fucking old?
No way, Wiley. No way.
What are you now? 15? Tell me you're 15.
Stop it.
I know, like I can't take that like you're way older or something.
No.
I can't.
Wiley's been around for forever.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I can't handle anything else.
Shit. I like this prediction. I'm predicting to get into limited series at the Emmys is All the Light We Cannot See because it made PGA, DGA, and all the guilds. I hope Aria Mia Liberti gets some shine and loved your interview with her. I loved my interview with her and it had nothing to do with me just because, like, no pun intended, she's a damn ray of light. She was just such a treat to talk to. But I don't know. That's one that I think is going to maybe miss the mark, sadly. I'm curious to see what happens with it. But again, I want good things for her and I wouldn't mind seeing the show recognized. So that's where I stand on that one. But there's a lot of competition.
Valid opinion.
Oh, thanks.
I have nothing there. I got nothing there.
I figured. He's 24.
Fuck you.
Wait, Wiley, so you were being serious.
Fuck you, Wiley.
No, you couldn't have been serious. I wasn't on YouTube and stuff that long ago.
No, that's only...
If he's 24, and how old did he say when he was watching us?
12.
Yeah, that's too many years. That's before my YouTube time.
Oh, that's fair.
Well,
still.
That was before my Collider movie talk time.
Why did they say there was no evidence of anyone else in the murders? Sorry. My mom was there every single one.
Honestly,
that's something. That. Yeah, like 100%. That's my 4 out of 5. Like my 4 out of 5 are the things that I had to suspend belief for and just be like, I'm vibing. I'm in the movie. But yeah, it's not a closed and locked case.
I mean, the only reason, like, if I were to find a reason for this is like because of the capacity that she was there, where technically she wasn't interacting with anything, but the devil was doing the work for her in a sense, would mean she'd leave nothing behind to find, but touching the doll, but that's I again not arguing this part of it. Like there are some things that you just have to ride with, and that's Longlegs. And I think that's what's impressive in a movie like Longlegs, because there is those things you just have to accept. It's what it is. But everything around me just didn't make me care. I was with it the whole time, and I want to lead into this really quickly. Yeah, because it did fucking blew by. Yes, it did.
Number one is an hour and 40. Great time range for this movie to begin with, and it just went. It keeps going.
Could not agree more. It's part of the reason why I suspect I will watch this movie over and over again. AMC Movie Talked, I started watching, then you...
Oh, so AMC Movie Talk into...
Okay.
There we go.
I wasn't on AMC Movie Talk. That was before my time. I'm the next generation.
Listen, 30 fucking 5. Let me feel my mortality on my own face.
All right.
All right, I need to go drink more. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. I do want to have a beer.
I'm hungry. I want a beer.
We'll be back in person next week, and then it's the week after that might be Comic-Con. A little bit of an issue because I'll be at Comic-Con.
We don't need to.
Just in case nobody saw the news, I'm like incredibly proud of this. I think this actually might be what I would call a professional peak. Yeah. I don't think I've ever done anything this big. We're doing our very first live Collider Ladies Night at San Diego Comic-Con. I still can't believe I'm saying this either, because I wrote this a little in the announcement article, but like shit like this doesn't happen unless other people are willing to take a risk on you and jump in feet first. So the fact that Katie O'Brien and Melissa Barrera are both willing to come to San Diego Comic-Con and do this panel with me, just like words can't express how much that means to me. And even better, we're going to announce one more panelist tomorrow morning. So I'm really looking forward to telling you all who that is. And like, it's a cool group. It's a cool group of super talented people with diverse bodies of work who I just absolutely adore as artists and people. And I don't know. I'm so happy. So for anyone who's going to be in San Diego for Comic-Con this year, come join us in Ballroom 20 of all places. Friday, the 26th, 2 p.m.
Hell yeah.
I still can't believe it.
You did the work and you made it.
Fuck yeah. Anything else you want to promote before we say goodbye?
I'll send my shit. It's not a bomb. Go find me.
We'll see you.
Don't bother me.
Next Friday with some, I don't know, Twister talk? Yeah?
Yeah, I see it on Monday.
Twisters. Yeah. Yay. All right. Have a good weekend, everyone.
We'll get twisted.
Bye-bye. Get twisted.